Good morning, everyone, and welcome aboard GaDOE Social Studies. I am your captain, Joy Hatcher, the Social Studies Program Manager.
And I'm First Mate Joanne Wood. I'm the Social Studies Program Specialist.
And I'm the skipper, Jennifer Zumberis. I'm the Social Studies and Special Education Content Integration Specialist.
Today, we're going to take you on a journey of everything that you need to know about social studies, beginning with Joanne Wood and your passport.
So our passport for social studies leaders today and our top survival kits starts with our foundational document, our Look for Social Studies Inquiry. When we first revised the standards back a few years ago, we also talked about the shift in teaching that we expected to occur from the way that we taught social studies in the olden days to inquiry, which is the current state of the art of how to teach social studies best practices. And we were asked by leaders to come up with a one-pager that they could use so that they could walk into a classroom and know what to look for in a good social studies inquiry lesson. And this document is that one-pager. So very quickly, I'm just going to run through it and you can read it more at your leisure more later. But the essential elements you would want to see in a good social studies inquiry lessons are good, deep questioning going on by both the teacher and the students. You would want to see students speaking, writing, illustrating, reading, and listening, the swirl part of our inquiry look for's list. You want to see them doing all of that with sources, all kinds of sources, primary and secondary sources, documents, images, and so on. You want to see students engaged in civic and civil discourse through debate or discussion of really important issues, and you want them modeling good debating and discussing skills, being able to discuss really meaningful issues in really respectful ways, and being able to springboard from those issues to then taking informed action on issues. And then the last, but by no means the least important element of inquiry is disciplinary thinking, including historical thinking, which is kind of bulleted there below in the box, but also thinking like a geographer, a political scientist, and an economist. So all of this together in one neat package is what undergirds everything we do in social studies. So all the resources we share with you today will all be stemming from this document.
And as Joanne said, all of our resources, all of our support are based on the elements of this document. So what we're going to go to next is the social studies leader top 10 survival tips, which will be our agenda for today. And first off on our agenda, our first stop is georgiastandards.org and all of the resources on that particular page. So we are going to navigate there now.
Hang on to your hats.
And what I wanted you to notice is that georgiastandards.org looks an awful lot like GaDOE.org, if you're familiar with that page. So it does have a new look as of this week. If you go to the Georgia Standards of Excellence, and then you can click on social studies from there, you'll come to the social studies homepage on georgiastandards.org, which we lovingly call GSO. At the top, we have a link to the standards K-12. Also, we have a link to the state-funded list of courses updated recently. We have grade band pages linked here, but the important part of this page is that it describes all of the resources that we provide for each grade and course. It's divided into two parts. We have content resources, which include teacher notes that are for teachers. It is more than a teacher would ever need to know for every standard and element so that they can feel supported in teaching those content standards. It also provides links to other resources, images, graphs, maps, charts, photographs that are all source material that can be used to teach that particular topic. There's also teacher content tutorial videos. These are designed to help teachers understand how to break down the standard. It's similar to the teacher notes in its background information, but it is in a video format. Next on each page are instructional resources, which include a sample curriculum map. It's a sample. It's what we use to organize our resources. We understand that every district might have their own, and that's perfectly fine. There are sample units, which are individual activities teachers can choose based on a particular standard. We have distance learning resources, which are new, instructional activity tutorial videos, and social studies labs, which is a deep dive, a full inquiry lesson that's multiple days, or in some cases, multiple week if you're in an elementary setting. So I'm going to navigate us to one of the grade level pages so you can see what it looks like. Here we are on the 3rd grade page with our content resources at the top. The standards are always linked at the top there. There are some teacher content tutorial videos. And if we scroll down, here are some sample units, and there's the curriculum map. Now, if you see the word new next to a sample unit, then that indicates that some special stuff is happening. I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer to talk about.
One of the things that we've been working on is going back through and adding ideas for differentiation for all of the units, K-5. That's kind of where we've started. So as Joy indicated, that new means that we've put those in place. We want the students to be doing the work independently. We want them to do it on their own. But when they can't, what do we do? So we put some supports in place where we have talked about very intentionally modeling, where we provided picture supports, where we provided different ways for students to have think time that's very intentional, and then what can we do to lift them up so that they can do this really hard work independently.
So we're going to go to the distance learning resources for a sample of that. These resources are designed to support teachers with a fully realized lesson for distance or remote learning setting, but it also provides support for students who are unplugged in each section, as here. And there is a section for differentiation, which Jennifer spoke about at the end. So Jennifer, you want to talk about some of the resources in this lesson?
Sure. The things that we used in this lesson, of course, could be transferred across, to any lesson, but we did things like using picture support to go along with the vocabulary terms that were used specifically in this unit. And we also talked about, these are examples of the landforms, the picture support to go with those. And then we also had several places in this unit where students were using graphic organizers. So to be able to support them, we did a couple of things intentionally. We gave several different versions of the spreadsheets where students were having a little bit of a lessened amount of work to fill out or to complete independently. This works well with our students with struggling, but also our students who are unplugged that don't have quite the access to resources that our plugged students did. We also made sure that they had supports that were there and ready. We know for some of our students, asking them to research independently is not the most appropriate thing for them. So we have things in place for them to be able to use that we know they can find the information that they're looking for. Again, these are examples of the graphic organizers and what it might look like to provide those in a way where students have support. We gave copies of the graphic organizers complete and incomplete, so students could also have a key to make sure that what they were doing or completing was correct.
All right. One last thing I wanted to mention on our journey through georgiastandards.org is, in addition to all of the supports for each grade and each course, K-12, is this section here on professional learning. Now, we're going to come back to our virtual learning communities in a minute. I just wanted to make you aware of our professional learning video series. So your teachers and yourself, you might be asking, well, what does it really look like in the classroom? What does a really good inquiry-based lesson look like for social studies? And we have that for you here. Our newest series is Everyday Inquiry in Elementary Social Studies. You can look inside a first grade, third, fourth, and fifth grade classroom to see what inquiry looks like. We have Marrying Social Studies and ELA, the Inquiry Method, which is a 6th and 7th grade classroom. And we have Social Studies Labs with Bruce Lesh. Bruce Lesh wrote a book called Why Won't You Just Tell Us the Answer? This is geared more to 6-12, but you can watch the whole workshop with teachers at these links. And we encourage that with your teachers, and it's available for you for professional learning. So I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer as she talks about our virtual learning communities. And I'm going to click on this link, Schedule for Monthly Webinars.
This is one of the things that I feel most proud of, our virtual PLCs. We have a PLC for every single grade and course in social studies. That's 14 PLCs, and also a PLC just for you, which is the leadership. So using this document, you can click on the link where it says join community, and that will take you directly to that community. It's super easy. The only thing you have to do first is join EdWeb. Then once you've joined EdWebs and you click these links, it will take you directly to the PLC. You also see in this document the link to the playlist. That's all of the webinars from this calendar year, this 2021 school year. Within that document, there's also links to take you back to the previously recorded playlists as well. We encourage you to get your teachers to sign up for these PLCs, not just their grade level, but the grade levels surrounding them. So much of what we do is transferable across grade levels, but we also want you to join the Leadership PLC. Joy has the link there for you, and it's also on your survival tips handout. In the Leadership PLC, it's a great place for you to have access to resources, know what's coming out, know what's available to you, but it's also a great place for you to share what's going on, what's going well for you, what are you struggling for. That's our village, it's our PLC where we can turn to each other for resources and help. So definitely worth you looking into and joining that PLC.
All right, I'm gonna navigate us back to the survival guide to kind of check in and see where we are. So check, we've navigated to our first port of call, our leadership PLCs on EdWeb. And so now let's let Joanne navigate us. Who is muted? Joanne, who is muted?
Sorry, my dog was snoring. So as Jennifer said, there is a leadership PLC for you, and that's actually open to both leaders like you at the district and RESA level and state level, but also it's open to team leads and other leaders within schools. So it's a wider network of leaders sharing information back and forth. In addition to that, we have something just for district and RESA leaders and state leaders, and that is we have regular leadership meetings, and we generally host those at this time. We have a list of contacts that we invite to all of those meetings, and now you can join that list. So one of the things I would love for you to do after you see this is to email me, Joanne Wood. I'm the one who kind of communicates about those meetings. Email me to ensure that your name is on the list and you receive notifications. And we will be scheduling our next one soon. At those meetings, we share resources. You hear from various people about offerings for instruction, and we share what new resources are coming out, what new courses are available, what new professional learning you might be interested in, and we talk about issues of concern to us. So it is a really good collaborative group for you to be a part of. So I want to encourage you to join that now. And while we're talking about professional learning opportunities, we have shifted to providing our professional learning virtually now. We, in the past, have been all over the state doing face-to-face trainings. Right now, we've kind of converted many of those trainings into 1 hour webinar type virtual opportunities. We've actually recorded, and these are available, by the way, for any teacher, any leader at any time. We've recorded 6 of them already. So Minding the Gap, Inquiry Basics, the assessment one, Getting More Bang for Your Book, and All Are Welcome, and Disciplinary Thinking are all recorded now. We've done those live. They've already happened earlier in the fall, and now they're all recorded and available for your viewing. We have a couple of other workshops scheduled, October 1st, October 29th, and November. We have 3 more topics coming up that you can still register for and attend live. You and teachers can also be there. We invite everyone. And we will be continuing to fill in more of our catalog as we move forward. We have many more ideas of great resources and strategies to share. In addition to these kind of statewide general topics, you can also request professional learning when you want it to meet your individual district needs. And the way that you do that is to send me an email telling me what you're interested in, what you want, or if you're not sure what you want, give me options. We might want more about deeply understanding the standards, or adding more rigor to your teaching, or using primary sources, whatever topic you think your teachers and your district can most benefit from. We will design a professional learning and deliver it to you online based on your individual needs. So email me. I'm the one who does the kind of scheduling. We'll talk among the team and we'll set it up for you, develop it and deliver it. And we're happy to do that kind of district level and RESA level training, as well as our statewide training. So lots of different options for you at this time. So we hope to hear from you.
I just wanted to point out that this is a different website. This is GaDOE.org. This is our program page. So you would go, excuse me, you would go to GaDOE.org, click Learning and Curriculum, and then click Social Studies to get here. And the Virtual Learning Catalog has links for registration on each of these. And also at the bottom of the page, a link to the playlist for the previously recorded sessions. So if we go back to our tips handout, I will turn it over to Jennifer for number 5.
We want you to get connected. Not only is Joy the captain, she's also the planner of all things social media. Joy does a great job constantly updating Facebook and Twitter. Those are pretty much the same information. She sends out resources, events that are coming up, PL that's coming, anything that's timely and relevant. Joy sends out on Facebook and Twitter, so definitely stay connected for there. But we also want you to follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram is a teacher takeover account, and teachers apply to take over, and they get on our Instagram account and they take it over for a week, and they take pictures of what they're doing in their classrooms, whether it's face-to-face or virtual, as many of us are right now. They share what's going on, and it's a great resource. Even in my kindergarten and first grade community, I've used resources shared on Instagram for middle and high school, but then made it work for my K-1 group. So definitely a great resource for your teachers, but also for you as well.
And on to number 6.
Okay, so our ship is going to navigate over to the Georgia Council for Social Studies website. Thank you, Captain, for doing that so beautifully. You made that seem like the click of a button.
Right.
So we're at the Georgia Council for Social Studies website, our professional organization that we're all huge fans and huge parts of, a wonderful collaborative group. This year, of course, as everyone is, they're doing things a little bit differently. So for this year, GCSS members have access, instead of coming to a face-to-face conference in October as we usually do, we have access to a virtual series of speakers, and that series has already started. However, for members, and we have a low individual member price of $40 to join GCSS this year, you receive over 15 session opportunities. So it's an amazing resource, especially when we show you who's in that list. By the way, not only are individual memberships available, but they also offer discounted memberships for districts who enroll a group of teachers. And so really GCSS is kind of bent over backwards to make it affordable and stay alive during this pandemic. And to make it irresistible to you, we have teamed with our literacy folks using some literacy grant monies, and also with GCSS to bring you a series within this series of GCSS speakers. We have an author series. We called it Restoring History, Children's Young Adult Literature, Social Studies, and Inquiry. And we strongly believe in the power of using children's literature in social studies instruction, and we have arranged for the following authors that you see pictured on this flyer to do book talks, and talk about their process and how they use inquiry in their process, and how story is important in our social studies teaching. I think teachers are going to flip when they see that all of the authors are still on the schedule except Dr. Williams, who's already given his talk. So we definitely want to get the word out to as many teachers as possible, as soon as possible, and to you you will not regret the moments that you're spending. So far, we've had 3 sessions, and they have been incredible and really relevant. Now, you may be asking, well, I haven't joined already. I've already missed 3 of the sessions. Once you join, you have access to all the recorded versions of these sessions. So you don't want to miss out. You want to join as soon as possible, attend the rest of the sessions. We have many, many great sessions coming up throughout the year. And again, as Joy pointed out with that flyer, which we're going to send to you, we have numerous wonderful authors on the list. So all kinds of topics, a variety of topics, a variety of speakers, and our authors. So our next author is Kenneth Davis. He's going to be talking about he has a book for high school students called More Deadly Than War, The Hidden History of the Spanish Flu and the First World War. He has many, many points to make about the similarities and differences between that pandemic and the one we're currently experiencing. So I think you will be fascinated by his talk. And then following him, Kate Messner, an amazing children's author. I won't go through every single author, but I just will encourage you. We're really thrilled about this series, and we hope you're there as well. Our very next talk is 2 people from the Federal Reserve, Amy Hennessy and Princeton Williams, talking about the economics of a pandemic. So again, really vital and relevant information we hope that you and your teachers will enjoy. Another resource while we're at it, at the GCSS page, is the children's literature list. If you go down under the information tab, Joy's illustrating that for us so beautifully. Thank you, Captain. Our children's literature lists are posted there. A list of children's literature is posted there. These are titles recommended by Georgia teachers throughout the state who have used these titles in their classrooms that align to their Georgia Standards of Excellence. So we have, you can see a separate list for K through 5. And then if you click on the 6 through 12, you get a list. And within that larger list, you see it broken down, which ones are multi-grade, which ones are 6th grade appropriate, 7th, so on. And then which ones, what lists would be most relevant for the high school level as well for each of the courses that we teach. So it's a wealth of information. And as you can see, we're all huge fans of integrating children's literature into our instruction. And this should make it not only possible, but easier. So we can't wait to hear back from you about that.
And Joanne, Eddie Bennett, who is the head of Georgia Council for Social Studies, did indicate that those lists would be updated this year.
Yes, that's good information to know too, because newer titles can be integrated, and that's always exciting.
So one other mention is the National Council for Social Studies. GCSS is our state level organization, but the National Council is also doing a virtual workshop or virtual conference this year. We wanted to make sure that you're aware of both of those organizations because they both provide a wealth of information for best practices in social studies, both content and instruction. Their virtual conference this year has a fantastic lineup, including Ken Burns, George Takei, Kieran Korematsu, and Andrea Davis Pinkney, which is, Andrea Davis Pinkney is actually working with the High Museum right now in Atlanta on some projects. So just wanted to make sure that you were aware of that. The final 2 bullets on your top 10 list of tips is an infographic, which I'm going to kind of navigate us to right now, called The Marginalization of Social Studies. I'm not going to spend much time on this, but as a curriculum director, this is whether you're 612 or K5 or K12, this provides you some really great information for the benefits of teaching social studies in K5 in particular, but also what happens when we neglect social studies instruction in K5. And then the final bullet, and I will navigate us back to the top 10 list for that final bullet, is a video by Nell Dukes, who is an early literacy specialist, a professor, and she has a video on speaking up for science and social studies and the benefits of teaching those subjects to create good readers. So thank you all for joining us today on this fantastic journey of GaDOE Social Studies. Any comments, questions, or outrageous objections, feel free to reach out at any time. We are here to support you, and we hope to see you soon. Captain, signing off. First mate and skipper, any last words?
Ahoy, mateys.
Welcome.
Thanks,
We're
you
glad you're
guys.
here.
Thanks for joining us today, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.